They seem to be doing well enough in their new home. I did, as you can see here, put on the little baby robber screen on the front of it last night, and they're finding their way in and out. Something's going on right there at the gate, but yeah, they seem to be doing okay. One of the things that did come up in the in that bee club meeting is what's going on out there in the desert as far as what these guys are feeding on right now, because we did have that wet weather in August. There are things that are starting to rebloom, or things that bloom, in the fall. I don't know. So I don't know much. I don't know that much, and it was kind of hard to hear what some of them were talking about, and I wasn't chiming in, I guess, enough with any sort of questions on the subject. So I did go in and found a plant identifier app. I downloaded one, and it had a subscription rate. I'm like, okay, uninstall. Found another one, and it's free. You can, of course, create a profile, and it'll save things for you, stuff, or you can browse it as a guest. So I browsed it as a guest to see. Gave it a couple of tests on some plants that I had indoors that I actually knew what they were, and it's like, okay, this is fairly accurate. So I wandered around the property looking at the things that the bees are touching, and a few things that the bees may be touching fairly shortly that are about to bloom again. Like, I knew what rabbit bush was, and the rabbit bush has got buds on it. It's about to blossom again. I knew what creosote was, and the creosote has blooms. But I was unsure on a couple other things, and we're going to go over the pictures here just to show you what's in the yard and what the application came up with. And one of them's quite interesting, and they're on this particular plant. I didn't know what this plant was, but they're on it. I mean, that they are on it right now. All right, let's go over this business. All right, this is going to be kind of weird because I'm using the recorder device on the computer and watching the video. So this is the creosote bush, and this is a very large creosote bush that is around the property. Took a picture of it with this new botanical app, and sure enough, boop, it came up with creosote bush, and it's been in bloom for quite some time, and the bees are generally accepting of it. Now this one has been in bloom pretty much all summer, and I was unaware of what it is. There's still some flower out there, and I know it was mentioned in that little bee meeting, and this is buckwheat. There is still some out there. Most of it's turned brown and starting to go to seed, but the bees are still going after it. This one I was highly unaware of, and it's a small round bush about the size of a pom-pom, at least the one I've got around, and the bees are all over this and been all over it the past couple of weeks, and it is a snakeweed. And I did again hear somebody mention the snakeweed in the meeting. I knew we had sage in the area, and this one is blossoming again a little bit, and I did see some bees kind of pecking at it. I don't know how much they go for it, but this is the bladder sage that we have growing around the area. This one I had no idea about. All I know is there's a bunch of it around. It looks like it's about to bloom. An annual bursage. No idea if the bees are going to go for it. We're just going to keep an eye on this because it looks like it's about to flower, and we'll see what happens. And of course the lovely rubber rabbit brush, but we just call it rabbit bush. And it's annoying, although the bees do like it. So I only pull it out where it becomes annoying. So this has been a fun adventure, and there's plenty of applications. I'm not saying any one application over another to identify your botanicals that your bees are going for. So we have a bit of a fall flow going, and it's always good, I guess, to keep an eye on things as far as what's blooming and what the bees like, to keep tabs on your bee health. And the bees seem to be doing pretty good out there. There's a lot of stuff coming in. All right.